So reacting to your football hot takes is back for yet another episode. Who would have seen this coming? This episode is happening against all odds. There is a higher likelihood of one of you guys being struck by lightning than this episode taking place. And you might be wondering, bro, what are you talking about? You love this series. This is your child. Were you just going to abandon it? And the answer is yes. I was going to go, and as one of you guys said in the community tab post, I was going to go get the milk. Because I asked you guys on the community tab post if I should put this series up for adoption or if I should keep it. And you guys said overwhelmingly, I should keep it. So you saved a life. You might not be a first responder. You might not be a cop or a firefighter or a nurse or a doctor, but you saved a life. If you voted for me to obviously keep it. If you voted for me not to keep it, then you nearly killed somebody, but you can live with that. Like, that's on your conscience. But anyway, point is, I'm not putting it up for adoption. I'm keeping the series because, like Chris Rock once said, the great Chris Rock, I take care of my kids, and I'm gonna take care of my kids. But I'll be honest, guys, it's been a rocky relationship over the past couple months, but we're getting better. I feel like, here's the thing, I feel like I'm Joe Jackson, and I feel like this series is Michael Jackson. Like, I'm your mom, I brought you up, I made you famous, and now you get a big head and you think that we're not, like, you wanna screw me over. I'm not sure if that's what happened between Michael and Joe, but probably not. That's probably not what happened. But anyway, that's what's happening between us. It's happening between us, so whatever. That's my point. But yeah, man. This is episode, what is it? What birthday is it? I don't know. Anyway, it's episode something. Happy birthday to this fucking thing. I love it so much. I appreciate you guys so much for leaving the hot takes. It means a lot to me. Enough yapping. These intros are always weird and really, really long, so I'm going to try and just cut it here. We're cutting it here, and we're getting into the video now. The first hot take in today's video is, Wayne Rooney is the most underappreciated English player of all time. I disagree, and here's my question to you. Who are these people that are saying that Wayne Rooney was overrated? Who are these people that are claiming that Wayne Rooney's career was no good or that he underachieved? Where are these people? Are there people that are actually saying that Wayne Rooney wasn't that good? Because to me, everybody that I talked about Wayne Rooney and every video that I see talking about Wayne Rooney, most people understand how good he was. I think most people understand and acknowledge that Wayne Rooney in his prime was one of the best players in the world. We all know that. Everybody knows that. Now again, this is basically the only time, and I mean the only time, and I mean 100% the only time I am upset I'm no longer a part of football Twitter. Because I feel like I'm out of the loop, so I don't know if these conversations are happening right now on football Twitter, and I just don't know it's happening. Like, I'm just, like I said, I'm not on it, so I don't know. So if people are talking about Wayne Rooney being overrated right now on the app, again, that pisses me off. I wish I could see it because it really makes me upset because that's stupid to me. It's stupid because Wayne Rooney was simply amazing. Everybody should understand how good Wayne Rooney was. And like I said, I think most people do. Now, maybe this newer generation of football fans, they don't rate him as highly because they never watched him play in his prime. Now, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion on a player if you never watched them play in their prime, because I have opinions about plenty of players that I never watched play in their prime. I never watched Pelé for a second in my life. I'm not a fossil, of course, so I'm not that old to have watched Pelé, but I still have opinions about Pelé. So I'm not saying you have to have watched a player in their prime to have an opinion on them, but Wayne Rooney was such a flash in the pan, man. He really was a flash in the pan. And I feel like in those years from like 05 to 2011, 2012, he was unplayable, man. He was simply unplayable. He's top 5 in Premier League history in assists, and he's top 5 in goals. I think he's the only guy in the history to be top 5 in both goals and assists. He did that. He was one of the key pieces to one of the greatest dynasties English football's ever seen. Maybe the best dynasty English football's ever seen. They're definitely in the argument. It's them and Man City. That's basically it. Nobody else comes close. And he was, again, a key figure for a bunch of those teams. Wayne Rooney scored in a UCL final. Wayne Rooney won a UCL. I mean, like, Wayne Rooney was that guy. Now, for England, he kind of underachieved, but that whole generation underachieved. So I feel like it's unfair to put that on Wayne Rooney, who's, again, one of England's top goal scorers. I think he retired as a top goal scorer, and then Harry Kane surpassed him. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he retired as a top goal scorer for England. So he scored a bunch of goals for them. Now, Euro 2016 was rough. That was a rough tournament from Wayne Rooney, man. That was hard to watch. How he made the trip to France on that team, I'll never get it. But anyway, my point is, he was bad towards the end. His career definitely ended in an ugly way. But in his prime, we all understand how good he was. Now, to me, I don't think Wayne Rooney's underappreciated because everything I just laid out. But I'll give you a player that I do think is underappreciated. I think Jamie Vardy is the most underappreciated English player of all time. I don't think people realize how good Jamie Vardy was and what he did in his career. Jamie Vardy won a Golden Boot. Jamie Vardy won a Premier League with Leicester. He wasn't part of a dynasty in Man United. He wasn't part of a Liverpool team or a Chelsea team. He won it with Leicester, one of the greatest sporting stories ever. Jamie Vardy's a top 15. He's top 15 in goals in Prem history. He won an EFL Cup. I mean, Jamie Vardy did all that. He was that good. So and a guy who never really got into the England team because there were strikers ahead of him like Harry Kane, who he's obviously not going to get in over because he's not as good as Kane. But I think Jamie Vardy's extremely underappreciated. Kyle Walker's super underappreciated too, man. I don't think people understand how good Kyle Walker was. Raheem Sterling, to me, is extremely underappreciated. There's a lot of guys that I could throw out there that I think get less credit than Wayne Rooney for their career because, again, I think everybody understands how good he was. Our next hot take is Benzema's Ballon d'Or is the least controversial Ballon d'Or in history. I don't know if it's the least, like the number one least. I can't give it that title, but it's definitely in the conversation, like top 5 for sure. I'd say it's top 5, especially in recent history. I can't go back and talk about the Ballon d'Or in 1972 and how controversial that was. But in recent history, the Ballon d'Ors that I've watched and that I've obviously, like, I don't want to say covered because I don't really cover them, but the ones that I watched, I mean, the ones that I've been alive to see, it's definitely up there, man. I mean, Benzema's Ballon d'Or was pretty unanimous. There was really no debate once he won the UCL against Liverpool in Paris. Who was going to win it? Like, going into the ceremony, nobody thought, oh, could it be Mohamed Salah, like a surprise winner, or Sadio Mane? No. He was always going to win it. So it's definitely in the top 5. But to me, Messi's Ballon d'Or in 2011 was pretty not controversial. I mean, everybody should understand why Messi won it. Nobody should have any complaints about that Messi won the Ballon d'Or in 2011 because he won a double with Barca and just had a dominant season. He just had an insane year. Same thing with Messi in 2015 when he won the treble with Barca. And then Ronaldo in 2017. Was there any controversy? Was there any debate about who's going to win the Ballon d'Or in 2017 when Ronaldo won it? When he won the double with Real Madrid and scored all those goals in the UCL? No, right? So to me, those are definitely in the conversation. Now, another one that maybe comes to mind for me is, I don't think Messi's Ballon d'Or in 2019 was controversial because I think he was that good, but Van Dijk was close, you know what I mean? Van Dijk had a historic season as well, and he won the UCL, so maybe that one to some people is controversial, but again, it just depends on what you deem as controversial. Some people are going to complain about the Ballon d'Or winner no matter what. They're just going to find a way to complain about it. So it just depends what you, like I said, what you consider controversial. But yeah, Benzema's definitely was, I mean, he was always going to win it. Like I said, he was always going to be the winner, but yeah, like I said, to me, Messi in 2011, Ronaldo 2017, Messi 2015, those are to me also pretty not controversial. But I mean, Lewandowski 2020 would have been one of the most non-controversial Ballon d'Or winners in history as well. But Lewandowski should have had it in 2020. He was going to win it going away. I doubt anybody else is going to get a first place vote other than Lewandowski because he was that good. I mean, maybe some guy from, I don't know, from fucking Spain would have voted for some player from Spain. Like, we know how these journalists have bias, but to me, Lewandowski in 2020 would have been pretty non-controversial as well. But yeah, Benzema's is definitely up there, but I feel like there's a lot others that can be in that conversation too, so I'm not going to give Benzema's the title of number 1, but like I said, it's probably comfortably in the top 5. Our next hot take is Rafinha was our best player last season. Why do we have to pick who our best player was? I see so many of these takes. Like, if you go through the community tab posts, it's Pedri was our best player last season, or Lamine Yamal was our best player last season, or it was Rafinha, or it was this guy or that guy. Why do we have to debate who our best player last season was? It's fine. We could just agree that different players were important at different parts of the year. Can we just say that? Like, Rafinha was the best player for the first 5 months, no debate about it. He was the most productive. He was scoring goals for fun. I mean, the guy was insane for the first even 6 months. The guy was unplayable. He was so good. And then after the international break in March, Lamine Yamal kind of took over, and Pedri was really good throughout. Pedri was really good throughout, but again, he doesn't get the credit that Lamine Yamal and Rafinha get because he's a midfielder, not an attacker like them. They score the goals, they get the assists. Pedri should have more assists, but they never finish when he passes them the fucking ball. So anyway, my point is, we don't have to debate who our best player last season was. We could just say that different players were good for different parts. And I feel like that's okay too. But if you're asking me who our best player was last season, I really don't know because, like I said, I feel like the season kind of gets split up into parts, and for every different part of the season, there was a different best player. You know what I mean? So I wish I could have something that I could just go back and look at all my ratings for the season before, and see who my highest rated player was. I wish I could have something like that. But again, like, my point is, I think that there's a lot of players that were good for Barcelona and great actually, because you don't win a domestic trouble without having great players all around the pitch. But I don't know. Like, to me, our best player, if I have to say from start to finish, it was probably Rafinha. Yes, it was Rafinha. But I was kind of disappointed with the way his season ended. Now, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't that same Rafinha. And then Lamine Yamal kind of took over there. So we have short-term memory. We remember Lamine Yamal against Inter in both of those games. And in the Clásico, when he scored that goal, Rafinha also scored in that game too. But anyway, my point is, remember Lamine Yamal in those moments because, he was kind of hotter towards the end compared to Rafinha. But Rafinha was still so good throughout. So, I don't know. I feel like Rafinha, here's the thing. Rafinha getting not even a first place vote in the Ballon d'Or is ridiculous to me. I think people really, it pisses me off because this season should be one that we remember for ages, in my opinion, the Rafinha season. He was that good. He was honestly that good, and his big game catalog backs it up. He wasn't just scoring against the little teams. He was scoring against Real Madrid. He was scoring against Bayern Munich. He was scoring winners against Benfica. He was doing all that, and I feel like people aren't going to remember it. So it pisses me off. But again, it was a travesty that he didn't get a first place vote and finish fourth. I mean, it's just stupid. Or fifth, actually. Was it fourth or fifth? Fifth, I think. But anyway, whoever you want to say our best player was, that's up to you. everybody's going to have a different answer. But again, arguing about this to me is kind of stupid. Our next hot take is PSG has all the tools to go back-to-back in the Champions League or even do a three-peat. I agree, but with one caveat. I agree, but only with one caveat. Now, first I'll say why I agree, and then I'll give my caveat. I agree because PSG do have one of the best and most talented young squads in all of Europe, maybe the best and most talented young squad in all of Europe, and they proved that obviously by winning a treble last season. Their squad is sick. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, it's that good. And they also have one of the best managers in the world in Luis Enrique. So you have an insanely good squad that's young, and you have one of the best managers in the world that's still young. Luis Enrique's not 70, he's like 55, I'm pretty sure. So he could be there for a long time. That's really important. Those are two important ingredients and trying to win 2 or 3 in a row. Also, another important ingredient is having a club that invests in the squad and in the manager. And PSG have that. They have one of the best clubs, they're one of the healthiest clubs in Europe. That team just invests constantly. Their higher-ups are so focused on winning all the time. That team is going to invest. They're going to go out and scout great players. We know that. Their scouting department is as good as it gets in Europe. Their scouting department is fucking crazy. William Pacho and Joao Neves and Vitinha and all these guys, man. I mean, it's actually insane. So, they have that, right? But here's what I'll say. We could have said all that about Man City 2 years ago when they won the UCL in Istanbul and they didn't win back-to-back or 3 in a row. So everything could be perfect. Everything could be set up for you to win 2 or 3 in a row. And most of the time, it doesn't happen. 99% of the time, it doesn't happen. The only time it happened was with Real Madrid with Zidane. And they had Ronaldo. I mean, the UCL fucking monster. Once-in-a-generation player in the UCL. They had Benzema. They had one of the greatest midfield trios ever. They had one of the greatest center-back partnerships ever. They had one of the best left-backs ever, and Dani Carvajal, who's a serial winner. You know what I mean? Man City, they had Haaland, they had Foden, they had, they had Ruben Diaz. They had all these guys. They had Ederson. And they still couldn't win, they couldn't win multiple in a row. And we all thought they were going to do it. We all thought they could do it. Oh, Man City, they just won this one, they have Haaland, they're going to win it again next year. And they not even the semis. They didn't make it to the semis. So we could just sit here and say that PSG have all these great things that can help them win a UCL or maybe win back-to-back. No, they already won a UCL, but win back-to-back or 3 in a row. But the football's played on the pitch. You know what I mean? So we have to see how it plays out. I don't know. Do I think PSG, on paper, do they have everything? Are they the favorites right now to go win the UCL again? Yes. I don't think there's any team in Europe that should have higher odds to win the UCL than PSG. That includes Real Madrid, the all-time winners, Barcelona, one of the best teams last season, Inter, who made the final and obviously lost them, Liverpool with Isak. I don't care. I think PSG should have the highest odds because their team is that good. But again, it's we could talk about it, but most of the time it doesn't happen. Most of the time it just doesn't happen. When Liverpool won it back in 2019, their team the next year was better. That's the team that won the league. Maybe not better, but it was just as good. I mean, that team won the Premier League going away, and they couldn't make it past the round of 16. So, you never know. You really never know. If you would have told me after 2015 that Barcelona weren't going to win a UCL for the next 10 years, I would have said you're crazy. And here we are. So maybe PSG go 10 years, maybe they win 4 in a row. We never know. But again, I'm not going to say they're going to do it because I've seen teams just as good as PSG win the UCL and not be able to win it back-to-back. And unfortunately, a lot of those teams were teams that I support in Barcelona. Our next hot take is Mbappe is still the best player in the world. Here's the thing. You can have that opinion, and I would not be mad at you. I would not be mad at you. I don't think the conversation of best player in the world, I don't think there's a consensus, number one. A guy that everybody should agree he's the best. Like Messi in his prime, in my opinion. He was that good. Now, Ronaldo was always a close second, but he was always second to me. It was always Messi. It was always Messi. And I don't feel like that's the case now. I don't Lamine Yamal to me is the best, but do I think he's going away with number one? No, I think Harry Kane is having a great season. I think Mbappe is fucking ridiculous. I think there's a bunch of great players in football. I don't think Lamine Yamal is a consensus number one, but again, to me, I might be biased because I'm a Barca fan, but I believe the kid is the best player in the world. I think he's that good. But again, if you think Mbappe is the best player in the world in the form that he's been on over the past, 10 months at this point, since the calendar turned to 2025, you can have that opinion. Mbappe is out of his mind right now. But Lamine Yamal, to me, is a guy who is just the better player. That's just my opinion. I would not trade Lamine Yamal for Mbappe. I wouldn't trade, if Real Madrid said, we'll give you Mbappe and we'll take Lamine Yamal, I would say, fuck no. And even if they said, we'll throw in an extra 200 million to go along with Mbappe, I would still say no. You might think I'm crazy, but that's the fact of the matter. I think Lamine Yamal is that good. I wouldn't trade him for any player. But again, Real Madrid fans, maybe they wouldn't take Lamine Yamal for Mbappe. Maybe a Real Madrid fan would say, if Madrid were offered Lamine Yamal for Mbappe, they would say no. So, it's difference of opinion. Mbappe is that good, and Lamine Yamal is that good. But again, I don't think there's a consensus number one. I think both of those guys are, they're definitely in a conversation, and both of them are in the top three, along with some other guys that you could, I think the third one is interchangeable. There's guys that come in and out. But I think these two guys are solidified as one as in the top three. In the top three, sorry about that. But again, whoever you want to put third, that's fine. But again, I'm not gonna be mad at you if you say Mbappe is the best player in the world. Because to me, there's not it's not like one guy has to be number one. you can have the conversation. It's not like back in the day when, to me, Messi was the clear number one. And I wouldn't even entertain a discussion of anybody being better than him. You know what I mean? That's my point. Our next hot take is, we should not be giving props or congratulating another team for beating us when their fans have been chanting fuck Barca all this time. Tired of seeing y'all motherfuckers twerking for them like they're gonna respect that shit or something. Like, what do you want me to say about this, bro? Like, I obviously picked this take because I want to talk about it. But I read these takes and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, here's the thing. I made a YouTube short about this recently, and obviously I'm putting this in the video, so I care about this topic a lot. If not, I wouldn't have talked about it. So I want to give this opinion. I really want to give this opinion. And I've changed my opinion on this. Something that doesn't really happen to me is that I've changed my opinion on this over the past couple of days. That doesn't really happen with me. Usually I'm very stubborn on my opinions. For good or for bad, I'm very stubborn. I stand by my opinions to a fault. But I changed my opinion on this. Fans, they should do whatever the fuck they want. If you're a fan of a club, which I am, and you want to, say you don't want to give props to a team, that's fine. That's your life. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's not hurting me, so I don't really care. Me, as a fan, but also someone that creates content, I create content around football, I will never be that person. That is not what you're going to find on this channel. And you might not like it. You might think that's bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. I was going to say I'm sorry about that, but I'm really not sorry about it because it's just the way that it's going to be. It's just the way that it's going to be. I'm not about to sit here when I'm trying to make content about football and not give another team credit or not talk about how good their players played when they played well. That's not what I'm going to do. I feel like that's the worst type of football fan to listen to, and I would hate to be that person. I really try to steer away from that because I'm not that person. There's content creators that I literally can't watch. I literally cannot watch them. You guys tell me collab with this guy, collab with that guy. I would rather shoot myself in the neck than collab with some of the guys you guys tell me to collab with. And I know that sounds mean, but it's true because a lot of these guys, they don't have, they never have an original opinion, in my opinion. The whole thing is just spewing hate. It's just constantly hate. Oh, this guy plays for a rival team. Fuck it, I hate him. He sucks. He's overrated. Do you guys not get tired of that? I get tired of that. I would never do that here. So, again, if you don't want to give credit to a club because they said fuck Barca, that's on you. I don't care what PSG fans are chanting. I really don't give a shit, to be honest, to be quite candid with you. I don't give a fuck. Whatever they want to chant, that's fine. I'm still going to sit here and give my unbiased opinion about something. Because I'm that whole mindset of they're doing it to us, so we should do it to them. That doesn't make any sense to me when it comes to football, because football is never that serious, bro. Football is really never that serious. It's a great thing. It's a sport. Tribalism is beautiful. It's really never that serious. We see stories about fans and River Plate versus Boca Junior getting beat up and some of them getting killed over a rivalry. That to me has always been fucking dumb. You're a grown man. You have a family, some of you, and you're putting that at risk because you want to fight some other dude because he's supporting a different team than you. I saw something on Reddit. This is a couple years ago. Would you marry a Real Madrid fan? What the fuck? Dude, if she's hot, if we hit it off, I don't give a fuck who she supports. As long as it's some radical group. If I'm talking about sports, I don't care who she supports. Who the fuck cares about that? You know what I mean? So again, that's just my opinion though. A lot of you guys might disagree, but yeah. If you're a fan and you don't talk about football, do whatever the fuck you want. But if you talk about football, I believe you have a responsibility. If you want to be taken seriously, and if you actually want to give good analysis, you have a responsibility to put your bias aside and just talk about the games. And that's what I try to do. So I'm not going to change that here. But again, if you don't like that, then I'm sure there's other guys you can watch that, will give you what you're looking for. Our next hot take is, Flick will never win a UCL with Barca. Here we go. Due to his inability to manage late in the game, this Barca team will not be able to compete with other big European teams because of this. Here we go. Hansi Flick loses one game and it's the end of the world. Chicken Little, the sky's falling. Let's just call off the season out. Let's not even play in the UCL. Let's forfeit it. Let's just forfeit the UCL because clearly Hansi Flick can't win the UCL. The guy who was a minute away from making a final last year can't win the fucking UCL. The guy who won a UCL can't win the UCL. What are we doing? What are we doing here, man? Are we being for real? Please. Some of you guys, man, it's just after one game against PSG, or maybe the game last year against Inter, it's Hansi Flick can't win a UCL. I'm here to tell you, if there's one man that can win a UCL with Barcelona, it's Hansi Flick. If there's one manager that can win a UCL with this cursed club in this competition, since Luis Enrique, it's Hansi Flick. I promise you that. I say that, and I'm very, very, very confident in that. Very confident in that. Now we're talking about Hansi Flick can't win a UCL. What are you guys fucking talking about? But this is shit that gets me upset. This is shit that gets me upset. I saw another thing on here that Kouarsi's overrated. Now all of a sudden Kouarsi's overrated and he's no good after the game against PSG. Can we just take it down a notch a little bit? Can we just relax? Can we just realize that it was one game against PSG where the team kind of switched off in the second half? You can't have the good and not want the bad. You cannot have the good and not want the bad. You cannot have a hot girl and not want people to look at her. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like if you're dating a hot chick, dudes are gonna look. If you don't wanna date a girl that dudes are looking at, then don't date a hot girl. It's just a fact of the matter. Now, if she entertains it, you kick her to the curb. You say, like, you don't deal with that shit. But if she's just getting looked at, like, you got to deal with that. When you have a manager like Hansi Flick that's hyper attacking, and we like seeing 5 goals a game and 7 goals a game and 4 goals a game, you got to deal with this too. And I'm sorry, you guys might not like it, but it's the fact of the matter. Every manager has their good things and their bad things. And sometimes managers are stubborn to a fault. And I understand that Hansi Flick can maybe adjust a little bit and, not play a high line, a suicide high line in the 89th minute when, when you're drawing the game or we were winning against Inter. That fucked us over. But again, I'll take the good that comes with Hansi Flick. I want the good. Now, the bad that comes with it, sure, like that's fine. Bring it on. I think Hansi Flick can win a UCL with Barcelona. And I think it's going to happen this year. I'm not discouraged after one loss against PSG. I did my video, I ranted, I got upset, I said what I needed to say, and now I'm back. We're back. We should all be back, bro. We should all be back. So, no, I disagree with this opinion vehemently. I don't get it at all. You cannot have the good and you cannot want the good and not want the bad. It has to come with it. And our final hot take is Ruben Amorim is not going to turn United around, and the cycle of sacking managers after 1 to 2 years is ruining United. Both can be true. Here's the thing about Ruben Amorim, right? I said he should have been backed coming into the season. I didn't think he should have been sacked because, he had a full summer and you got to see what he can do with these players. Like after the Europa League final, that was bad, but I said, you know what, give him some signings and see what he can do this season. Don't sack him, right? And then he lost to Grimsby Town, and I was like, okay, that's really, really bad. That's a sackable offense. And the performances kind of got worse after Grimsby Town. And now I'm watching them play actually Sunderland right now, and they're winning 1-0. I wonder how this game is going to end. We'll see. But anyway, they might choke this game. They might win it. I don't know. But as I'm recording this right now, they're playing against Sunderland. And they're winning. So that might, maybe this game, if they win it, it turns around their season. But I don't think it's going to. But anyway, my point is Ruben Amorim, he's just too stubborn, bro. He's too stubborn. And, it gets to a point where him on a microphone gets really, like, I'm not a United fan and I get pissed off hearing him talk on the mic. And the way that he's so stubborn and refuses to go, like, to do anything that's not his system. He needs to play a 3 at the back, and if you don't want a 3 at the back manager, then fire me. Like, bro, he's almost asking Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe to just fire him. It looks like he wants to get fired, so that pisses me off. But again, bro, do I think a manager is going to come in and save United? No, I don't think there's a manager that can come in and save them. I think Xavi would be a good choice. I think Xavi's a guy who can develop players, and we saw Barca. If you need a project manager, he's a really, really good project manager. So I would love to see Xavi, but is Xavi just going to get an interim position? Like you should make him the full-time coach. You're not going to come at Xavi, who's won La Liga, and say, hey, you're going to be the interim. After he coached at Barcelona, that's a bigger club. Oh, you should be the interim. And, oh, you won a league title, by the way? Yeah, but come be the interim for us. After Ruben Amorim? Like, what the fuck is that? No, I don't think Xavi should take that job. That's disrespectful to me if they want him to be the interim. But again, if they want to bring him in and just build that project, sure. But I don't think Xavi's going to get them to first or get them in a UCL spot. I think there's deeper issues with this team. I don't know what it is, man. I really don't know what it is. Like, I wish I could sit here and tell you guys what's wrong with United. Every time I watch them play, I'm like, it must suck to support United. It must suck. Their fans must be going through it, man. They honestly must be going through it. Like, I know that there's, they thought there was hope coming into the season, seeing Sesko come into the team, and Mbuemo and Cunha. And those guys haven't been bad. I mean, Sesko's not bad, and Cunha and Mbuemo are definitely not bad, but it hasn't been what they wanted. But again, I get it. Like, Ruben Amorim should be sacked, not just because he's losing games, but because of the way he's acting. More so than the fact that he's losing games, because you can deal with losing. I mean, United fans have dealt with it a lot, so they can deal with a little bit more losing if you're at least genuine about it, and you talk about how, like, you want it to change, and you really mean it. But you're saying that you want to change and you suffer a lot, but you refuse to change anything. I know every YouTuber is a philosopher nowadays, and they want to talk about how the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. When Einstein was really talking about math, not thing. But anyway, did Einstein even say? I don't even know if Einstein said that shit. But anyway, they all want to say that. And, that kind of, like, it's true, though. It is true. Like, they're trying to be philosophical, but they're right. You can't do the same shit over and over again and expect a different result. And I think that's what pisses United fans off. If you lost trying a different formation or trying a different system, maybe they'd be more apprehensive to what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to do. But when you refuse to change anything, they're going to be like, hey, bro, fuck you. You don't care, we don't care. So that's what I think is happening right now. But yeah, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. To everybody who submitted their hot take, it means a lot to me. We'll see you guys later today. No, what the fuck? Not later today. I'll see you guys soon. Obviously, the international break is here, so we'll see you guys soon for another video later today. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm thinking about because I'm filming this on a Saturday. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.